Welcome to Lutherans Alive. This is the program that highlights Lutheran Christians and their ministries here in southwestern Pennsylvania. I'm Pastor Tony Schneck. I'm pleased to be filling in today for our regular host, Pastor Greg Held. With me here today is Jeanne Christensen. Jeanne serves on the executive board of the Synod Women's Organization, the Women of the ELCA of southwestern Pennsylvania. Jeanne, welcome.
Thank you.
Glad to have you.
Much, Tony.
Glad to have you here today. Would you please just say a word about where you're from and what parish you are a part of here in our synod?
I belong to First Evangelical Lutheran Church in Greensburg, Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm. And you serve on the...
I serve on the executive board of Women of the ELCA, the southwestern Pennsylvania synodical portion of it.
Right. Would you say a word to those who might not know exactly what is the women's organization, the Women of the Evangelical Lutheran Church in America?
The women's organization is affiliated with the Lutheran Church, the ELCA, and it has traditionally been, it started many, many years ago with predecessor churches, often with the Lutheran missionary societies. But it has grown and it's become, it's an own entity. It has its own financial setup. And it does make contributions to the ELCA. But it's women's organization that helps with the growth and the faith life of the women of the church.
Mm-hmm. And who among our Lutheran churches who may be a part of the Women of the ELCA? The women, any women, right? As I understand it, any women who are members of a Lutheran church are by virtue of the fact that they are women, by virtue of the fact that they are Lutheran, are a part of the Women of the ELCA and are invited to participate. Very true. Very good. All right. Could you say a few words about your specific responsibilities as someone who works in the area of community?
Certainly. I happen to be a member of the community committee right now, and there are several committees. There is the community, there's a growth, there's an action. And if you take a look at them, the best way I can describe it is community. When you look at our purpose statement, it's the first few words of the purpose statement. It's as a community of women. So you add community, you put with it the other committees of growth and action, and it's called a Venn diagram. They all intermingle. Mm-hmm. There's an intersection in the middle where they all blend. So you can't really talk about community committee separate from growth and action.
So there's a lot of working together among the women of our synodical organization.
Very much so. Community is a lot of, I think, what prompts the action.
Mm-hmm. What sorts of action? Can you say a few words about some of the things that the women's organization is doing right now?
Okay, one of the examples that we have is in Western Pennsylvania, we have a designated outreach program. Mm-hmm. This year, the women vote on it. For this year, it is Girls Hope, which is, they've got a home in Baden, Pennsylvania. So from there, it's actually community that with one of the programs that the community committee starts off with is raising up healthy women and girls. So that works into the Girls' Hope. Then with growth, we end up, praying for them, funding them, and the action is we collect like in-kind goods things that are needed by that community of young women.
Okay.
So it all works all together.
Women in the church, in our Lutheran churches at least here, congregations have women's groups. Then there are also, getting a little bit larger here, cluster groups, as I understand,
Yes.
in specific areas in our synod. And then finally, all those clusters occasionally gather together as the large women's, the synodical women's organization. Would you like to say a few things about maybe your own women's group at First in downtown Greensburg?
Our women's group consists of 4 circles, what used to be called mission circles, but now we just refer to them as circles. And we meet almost monthly, except in the summertime, each circle independently. And then 4 times a year, we will get together and meet as a general organization. And actually, we've got our chocolate meeting coming up.
Very nice.
This month, where we just do chocolate fondue and, death by chocolate, those sorts of things. And of course, we'll have a program as well. But it is a good get-together for the women so that people that are normally going different directions are all together for at least 4 times a year.
Good. Chocolate can certainly build community.
Definitely.
I think that's certainly, if women get together, or men for that matter, get together about their love of food. We Lutherans love our food, of course. And
it's one of our better attended events.
Good, good. And of course, but most importantly, of course, the women gather united by their love of the Lord Jesus and serving Him and serving the church, serving the congregation, serving the larger church, serving the communities in which God has put us, and there's some good things going on. Are there other things that you'd like to say about some other things that other programs perhaps that the women's organization is in the midst of right now?
Certainly. Through the community aspect of Women of the ELCA, we partner with the Women's Funding Network, Women's Funding Network, where we've collected cell phones, and those are to go to benefit women and children in needy areas, helping with funding for
it's my understanding
areas
that
of need.
It's my understanding that some of those cell phones can be reprogrammed. The used cell phone can be reprogrammed for emergency situations so that they can at least dial 911. Is that right?
My understanding is about 60% of the phones that they get in can be reconditioned, actually, and resold. And then those funds go into projects that benefit women and children. And then another percentage of them can be reprogrammed to 911. And then what can't be either reconditioned or programmed to 911 are recycled.
Good. Very good. Jeanne, thanks for what you shared so far. We're going to go to a break, and we'll be back here in just a few moments.